Hello, Thrivers. Today I want to talk about why your brain likes to, or actually prefers to stay angry at the narcissist or the toxic person in your life, rather than letting that anger go. I want to talk about this because a lot of people struggle with anger from the past, being able to just let it go. Like on a logical sense, they know that they should let it go. They want to let it go, but it's almost like their brain doesn't let them. So today I want to talk about why that is, because I feel like when we can understand it, we can start picking it apart and learning how to work through it. And when we work through it, what happens is, obviously our past is our past, right? You don't erase the past, but what you can do is you let go of that negative charge that comes up because of the past. And when that negative charge is gone, you're able to live in the present moment and you're able to create the life that you want. Okay, so if this is resonating with you, you're going to want to watch this video. For those that don't know me, my name is Michelle. I'm a life and relationship coach. I'm super passionate about helping people recover from narcissistic abuse and complex PTSD. I know it's hard and I know it's challenging, but I also know it can be done. So all of my videos are geared more towards healing than anything else, hopefully. I mean, it didn't start out that way, but now that's what it's all about. So let's jump into today's topic. When it comes to recovery, a lot of people talk about how they understand it, right? They understand narcissistic abuse. Thanks to all the YouTube channels, thanks to so much information on the internet, they get it logically. And they want to move forward. They want to create their life, but it's almost like their brain doesn't let them. And that's the Cptsd part of recovery. Narcissistic abuse recovery isn't just about getting out of the relationship. It's then about working through the thoughts, the emotions, the beliefs that got stuck in your nervous system as a result of the abuse. Okay, and working through the anger is one of those things. So what happens is people start their recovery process. And every time they're close to shifting, right? They're close to making a breakthrough, whether it's in their behavior, in their external world starts to change, or they start to live in harmony with a more uplifting belief, right? The belief that I can be successful instead of maybe feeling like a failure, which is something that narcissists tend to kind of ingrain in their victims. So they start living in harmony with this belief. And then something comes up and all of a sudden their body is flooded with different emotions that are super uncomfortable. Anger being one of them. And when that anger gets kicked on, what their brain starts to do is give them reasons for that anger. Okay, so you're starting to recover. You remember something, right? Something pops into your brain, a memory, a suppressed emotion or suppressed memory, and it comes up in your body. And now your brain is looking at the emotions that are going on in your body, and it starts giving you reasons. And you suddenly remember all of the horrible things the person did. And you're thinking in detail. They did this, they said this, and then this happened, this happened, this happened, then this, and then that. And it's like this storyline starts coming up in your mind. And as that story is coming up, what is it doing? It is fueling that anger. So now the anger came up in your body. Your brain fed it with more reasons as to why you should feel angry. You feel more anger, and it pulls you back on the healing journey. It pulls you back from moving forward and accomplishing the goals that you want to accomplish and living in harmony with the positive beliefs that you want to live in harmony with. And the reason it does this, okay, the reason it does this and will always do this until you start breaking the pattern, is because underneath narcissistic abuse and underneath that anger are vulnerable, suppressed emotions that came about as a result of the abuse. Some of the vulnerable emotions that are suppressed, just to mention a few, are rejection, right? Being rejected by somebody that you expected love from, like a parent or significant other. Abandonment, even if it's emotional abandonment, where every time you were feeling sad or upset, you were invalidated. You weren't allowed to have your feelings. So you were emotionally abandoned over and over again. And all of those, that's just to mention a couple of them, but all of those actions that cause these vulnerable emotions, they were suppressed because you weren't allowed to say, hey, I'm feeling sad, or, that hurt my feelings, or I'm feeling like you abandoned me. You weren't allowed to have those feelings or express them. So they got stuck inside of you. As you're recovering and as you're healing, being able to heal requires you to work through those suppressed emotions, because those suppressed emotions are what fuel the anger. So if you just try to get rid of the anger, it's not going to work. So what happens is people learn this. They're like, okay, so I have to work through these emotions, and they logically want to. But as they begin the process of doing the inner work to heal, their brain will fling them into anger. It's not done on a conscious level. This is the piece of CPTSD that's challenging, okay, is the fact that as you're healing, you're working through your brain's coping skills and what your brain has decided as a result of what you've been through and all the pain and vulnerable emotions that you've had to endure. Your brain has decided that those emotions are too painful for you. Okay, it probably decided that if you were feeling those things in childhood. But even in a long-term adult relationship, your brain can see that this is causing you so much pain that it disconnects you from these emotions. So as you're working on the healing journey, right, you have to work through these emotions. They start coming up. Your subconscious mind notices, your limbic network, your alarm system in your brain starts noticing these emotions coming up in your body, and it sends hormones, cortisol. It does everything it can to make you feel that that's dangerous. And what it starts to do is then get you to focus on the narcissist. And it gets you to focus on the stories that happened. And then your brain goes down that story list again and again. They did this, they said that, and then this happened, and then that happened. What your brain is basically doing is something that as parents we do with our children. Okay, when my children had to get their shots at the doctor, what would I do? I would take their little face and I would kind of move it so that they didn't see it. Okay, and that I was consoling them so that they weren't scared. In a way, your limbic network is doing that. It's like, Michele, those emotions are too painful. The last time you felt those, it was too overwhelming for you. So I disconnected you from them. So let's look over here. Let's stare at what they did, because at least by staring at what they did, you will feel emotions like anger, and anger can motivate you to action. So let's do that. That's what your brain is doing. So it's one of the reasons why people tend to love videos that talk about the narcissist. And it really gets these emotions going in their body. And those emotions at times can help you to feel grounded. And at times they help you to feel strength. Like, I never want to do that again. So that's what your brain is noticing, that this is giving you a sense of power. The problem is, until we work through those vulnerable emotions, what will happen is we are still living in certain beliefs. If, for example, the emotions inside of me are guilt, feeling abandoned, unworthy, shame, those emotions are kept alive by certain belief programs. The belief being, I am bad or I am unworthy. So until I change those beliefs, what my brain will then do is keep those beliefs alive for me. So for example, if I think I am bad, if I think I am unworthy, if I think I am unlovable, my brain will help me to find relationships that confirm my reality. Now, when I first heard that, I thought that was ridiculous. Okay, why would I do that? Why would my brain do that? And what we have to understand is that our subconscious brain, unlike our conscious brain, right? Our conscious brain has opinions and it will say, that's a bad belief. I don't want to do that. Our subconscious brain is just like a computer. It will run the program without an opinion. And so if that program is inside of me, it will run that program and help me to find relationships that confirm that reality. I know that's a subject for a whole nother video, but my point is, it's uncomfortable to stop staring at the anger. It's uncomfortable to stop looking at what the other person did and to look at what the damage is inside. It's uncomfortable to come face to face with those emotions inside. But it is the only way to change those beliefs that keep you recreating toxic relationships. Okay, but it's not easy. But for those that really want to heal, that's where healing starts. It starts within. So I encourage you to start finding resources that help you to work through what has been done inside. Your inner landscape has been recreated by this toxic relationship, and you have to change that, okay, so that you can have the life that you want as well as the relationships that you want. And if you're struggling, I created the Thriver School of Transformation to have a place that helps people to do that inner work, okay? It's not easy. And the beautiful thing about this school is that you're not alone. You don't have to do it alone. You have not only live meetings, but support by other people that are on the same journey and that understand. So if you're struggling and you want some help, here's a link to the School of Transformation. You can try it for 7 days, and it costs, if you want to stay on with us, $79 a month, and you get about 12 live meetings a month. And some of those meetings are to give the cognitive aspects of healing, the learning pieces that we need, but there are also somatic modalities that we do, like EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. We do that together. And we also have breathwork sessions together to clear out the nervous system. So if you're ready to do the inner work, come check us out.